uh, we like drama here on the Steam Zone. We seem to see,
Yeah.
and you know, one of the drama pieces I was particularly intrigued by this week. Our friend of the show, Ryan Evans, the founder and CEO of War on the Rocks, War on the Rocks podcast, Metamorphic Media Group. Ryan did kind of a really interesting, well, I'll call this a controlled experiment. Ryan posted his thoughts on the Department of War's plans to pay the troops during the current government shutdown. I think most folks are very happy with the troops being paid during the government shutdown. That's not really necessarily the contestation here. But Ryan did something kind of interesting. He posted his take on X and he posted his take on Bluesky. Two different platforms, same take, same time, right? And it had to do with how the Department of War was going to pay the troops, where they were going to take the money from. Simple take. This is illegal. That's Ryan's perspective on this. This has not been ruled in court. This just came out today. On X, on one side, he gets hit from the right, basically saying, hey, look, what do you not want the troops to get paid? What do you know? You're not a lawyer. You're kind of an idiot anyway. He gets hit on the left, right, saying, oh my gosh, this is the fashy war on the rocks. You know, they just want more war. These guys they're fascists because you must be right. Like, no, I don't know, Ben, if how well you know Ryan, but I can tell you that he is not really a right winger, and he's not really a total leftist. Ryan's a pretty moderate guy. He's got views that, well, I'm not going to speak for him. The point is, both these people are totally wrong, which is kind of funny. But more than even his take, the just experiment of same take, different platforms yields a different outcome. Have you spent any time on these two platforms this week, Ben?
I try, honestly, I think this is a good example of why I've been trying to reduce my time in this platform, on any of these platforms, is that I don't feel like I am learning, right? I am getting responses. I'm getting a dopamine hit in all directions as the response to the response, the response to the response, watching the drama unfold. And I don't know that I'm actually learning substantive stuff. On this issue, there's probably a lot of really interesting articles, legislative court cases, discussions about it, discussions on both sides that you could learn about and come to an opinion. None of that substance is actually happening on any of these. So I think it's a fun experiment. It shows how honestly toxic some of these places can be. Probably all right, like, and I think there is a moment, at least I feel, where people are unplugging because they're saying, yeah, I used to like it because I could pretend and tell myself I'm gaining information, I'm learning something about the world. But the more and more I've seen, and this is not platform specific, this is across what I feel like almost all social media, I'm not learning. I'm watching people react. It's sports, and I'd rather just watch sports and see real professionals do really amazing athletic stuff. And the longer, I don't know, the longer I stay off these, the less urge, the easier it gets to stay off them, because it's like, as soon as you quit, the addiction goes away, and you're like, why did I spend an hour scrolling X? What was I doing on Instagram? What? Is this how I would want to spend my time if I wasn't just continually swiping and take a step back?
You know what I've tried to do this week? I read this from the Don't Die guy, Brian. What's his name?
Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, Brian Johnson, the Don't Die guy. He was saying, look, if you have the urge to pick up your phone, just stop and wait 10 minutes. And if you do that 10 times a day, you'll be shocked how quickly it picks up. Here's how I've done it: is every time I reach, and it is an involuntary reach. When you involuntarily reach for your phone, that you stop and say, what am I hoping to achieve with this? And about 75% of the time, 3 out of 4 times, I end up not picking it up. When I do, I'm able to time box myself a little bit better. Now, I don't know, my mental faculties are decent. They're not the best. They're okay. I have a pretty good control of my own impulses. But I found that even just that thinking about what you're about to do has helped me. Let's hit this issue, though, before we move off of it. Ben, the government is shut down. They're still trying to pay the military. What do you think about this? Is this something that are they doing this the right way? Is this going to hold up in court?
We have the other podcast, the Flip Steam Legal Zone podcast, which I'm sure your family's like mine, has a lot of lawyers. This is not a cop-out. These things are complicated. I have no idea. What I do believe is what I've seen in my experience living through these on active duty, like it is not good that our troops don't get paid. There are a lot of troops that go do some research if you don't know this. Go pull up a pay chart of junior enlisted troops, and you'll see how little they actually do make. And it's totally reasonable. It's not because they're buying avocado toast in Starbucks that they are living truly paycheck to paycheck. And they are doing it not because they couldn't make more money in the private sector, because they want to serve their country. And so it sucks that they're not going to get paid. And for them, I'm happy they're getting paid.
Yeah.
Someone's going to have to go figure out the law. I am totally unqualified, and happy to say I'm unqualified and not give a Twitter take that isn't qualified. And
we love the humility. We love the humility. I will say it is not. I mean, the troops obviously key, but let me tell you something. If you're going to try to move around for even in the private sector, it's going to have spillovers. You're trying to move around between cities. You need to take a business trip. You want to fly out of Newark. You want to fly into LAX. The TSA, the air traffic controllers, who are already stretched really freaking thin, they're starting to call out sick. A lot of calling out sick, so you're seeing massive delays. This does have spillovers. This is not just a walled off to the government thing. This is. I know it was kind of fashion would be like, oh, tell me how the government shutdown is hurting you. You're already starting to see judges ruling and saying, hey, government's got to keep paying SNAP. Like at some point, something's got to give. Like we can't just operate business as usual with no budget, with no revenues, for indefinitely. It's going to have to come back online because there is a knock-on effect here. How they do that, that's why people get voted to go to Washington. So figure it out, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Speaking of court, Ben.
Oh.
Speaking of court, let's do a little legal